Hello and welcome to glennzb TV for Tuesday, the show that puts glennzb up your Periscope. I'm bringing New Zealand to the world. And the world to New Zealand. I know how Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway feel. I've been up before an audience before and had it all gone wrong and not really been able to cover it up. I just can't help thinking they should have just not said anything. None of them. They should have just gone, sweet, it was La La Land. Who would know? And it was the same sort of thing in my similar experience. I think I was 8 or 9 at the time, and we were doing a presentation on what had happened at school camp, and I skipped ahead and missed out a whole section. And rather than smoothly covering it up, I stopped the whole thing and said, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I've made a monumental stuff up here." You shouldn't really say that to the audience if you can avoid it. Just a little tip. Worst case scenario for these poor people on the United Airlines flight that was cancelled. I mean, for a start, they were flying United, so that was not going to be pleasant for them anyway. Then it was cancelled. Then they end up in Mangare's Te Puia Marae because there were no hotel rooms for them. Now, for those of you overseas who don't perhaps understand what a marae is, it's the traditional meeting house of our Indigenous people, and so if you're staying on the marae, you'll stay all in one room and you sleep on the floor and you have to leave your shoes at the door. That doesn't sound like... I don't care how shit your motel is, it's going to be better than that. I hate staying on maraes. Call me culturally insensitive, but I hate it when you go on school camps. That's kind of, when you're here as an international visitor and you've bought an airline ticket, I don't think you expect school camp-like accommodation. It's not what you're after. Anyway, I've got a little bit of advice here. It turns out New Zealand small businesses are outperforming both their Australian and their Asia Pacific counterparts. So New Zealand's the only economy where small business expectations from the prior year were actually matched by the results in 2016. So yeah, I've basically got one thing to say, not so much to the Asia Pacific companies, but specifically to the Australian companies. It's not really advice, is it? But I felt I had to say it. There's some music that puts you in the mood for certain things, and it turns out because there's some upcoming concerts around Mount Smart Stadium, and the local board in that area, they want a temporary alcohol ban there. These two concerts in question are Justin Bieber and Adele. So that's the music that really makes people want to drink. Don't worry about Guns N' Roses. Don't worry about Bruce Springsteen. It's Justin Bieber and Adele that drives people to drink when they're exposed to that music live. And finally, stressful morning for me this morning. It was a very busy show in the preparation for the show this morning, and I didn't get a chance to. I'm a man of routine, and I like to have 2 coffees before the show starts to just really get the blood pumping. And I was only able to manage 1, and so I had to go and get the second coffee during the show. Limited amount of time during the show. I'm talking about the Mike Hosking breakfast on News Talk ZB. Limited amount of time in that news break. Time is critical. And because I'm in charge of pushing all the buttons, if anything goes wrong during that news break, it's my fault. So it's a bit dodgy to leave the studio, but I really wanted that coffee. So I thought, no problem. I'll go out, I'll push the button, and away we go. So I push the button, and of course it says out of grounds. So then I have to find the cupboard, which is not labelled. There's a cupboard marked cutlery, a cupboard marked crockery, a cupboard marked, recycling, a cupboard marked waste. No cupboard marked coffee beans, but I eventually found an unmarked cupboard containing the coffee beans. So I got the bag, and I thought I'll just tear that off and pour the coffee, and then that doesn't tear. So then I had to find, and time, time's ticking past, and I'm thinking, oh, we're going to be on air soon. So I need to find something to open the bag with. So I grabbed this. I thought that's quite a good utensil until I went to use it on the bag, and then that happened. So you see my issue. And then I put the beans in the machine, and I had a whole bag of beans in the machine, and I pushed the button and it said, sorry, out of grounds. And it was at that point that expletives just came out, and I started kicking things and getting very angry, and I went back into the studio and still hadn't had my second cup of coffee. So thank you, Nadia, who actually made me a coffee and brought it to me in the end. Shout out, Nadia. I am glennzb. Thank you for having me up your Periscope. I'll see you back here again tomorrow, unless I don't get that second cup.